Hi, boys and girls. Miss Lehmann here for our final installment of Miss Daisy is Crazy. Today we're going to be doing chapters 10 and 11, and we're going to find out how this book ends. Maybe we'll find out if Miss Daisy is really crazy. Chapter 10. Football players are really dumb. Oh my goodness. Boys and girls, today we have a very special and famous guest, Miss Daisy said, and his name is Boomer Wiggins. Wow, was the first thing everybody said. Who is he? Was the second thing everybody said. But I knew who Boomer Wiggins was because Boomer Wiggins was my hero. He was the quarterback of my favorite football team, the Chargers. Wow! A real football player right in our classroom. Miss Daisy told us that Boomer Wiggins had a daughter in 4th grade, and that's why he was spending the day at our school. When Boomer Wiggins walked into the class, everybody gasped. He was really big and had so many muscles that they poked right against his shirt. We all crowded around him, and Boomer let us feel his arm muscles. I couldn't even get my hands around them. Then Boomer picked up Emily with one hand. He was amazing. Then he gave each of us a little plastic football and he signed his name to each one.
Does anybody have any questions?
Boomer asked. Do you like guys knocking guys on their butts? I asked. Everybody laughed, even though I didn't say anything that was funny. Miss Daisy said it was but, not butts. But I said a butt was divided into 2 halves, so really it could be butts. Miss Daisy said that was enough of that talk. I said she shouldn't be complaining because she was the one who started it.
I don't like knocking people down, Boomer told us, but sometimes we have to because it's part of the game.
Mr. Wiggins, asked Miss Daisy, is it true that football players are really dumb? We all gasped. I was afraid Boomer Wiggins might knock Miss Daisy on her bottom.
Excuse me?
Boomer said, like he wasn't sure if he had heard the question. Well, somebody once told me that if you play football, you don't have to know how to read or write or do arithmetic or even go to school.
Who told you that?
Boomer asked Miss Daisy. Everybody looked at me. I slid down so that my head was almost under my desk, and I hid behind my notebook. Oh, a good friend of mine told me, Miss Daisy said. Is it true?
If I didn't go to school, I never could have become a football player, Boomer told us. I have to read and study my playbook very carefully. I have to write letters to my fans. Every week I have to study very hard to get ready for the next game. Did you go to college? Asked Miss Daisy. Yes, Boomer said. And when my football career is over, I plan to go back to school so I can become a doctor.
Wow, I said. I want to go to college someday so I can become a doctor and knock guys on their butts. But everybody laughed, even though I didn't say anything funny. Then to prove how smart he was, Boomer Wiggins read us a book and passed out bookmarks that said, achieve your goal by reading on them. Miss Daisy said that even though Boomer read the book to us, we could still add 52 pages to the total number of pages we read. The temperature level on the thermometer in the hallway kept getting higher and higher. Chapter 11. We rule the school. Finally, the big moment arrived. It was Andrea Young, of course, who read the 1,000,000th page. We all cheered when Miss Daisy went out in the hallway and filled in the top of the thermometer all the way to the words 1,000,000. That Friday night, everybody in the whole school showed up at school. Can you believe it? I actually couldn't wait to get to school on the weekend. When we got there, a big banner was hanging over the front door that said, we read 1,000,000 pages. Principal Klutz was waiting for us. He was wearing a gorilla suit just like he promised. Inside there was a table of snacks and treats and juice. Miss Daisy had brought in
bonbons. But best of all, the gym was filled wall to wall with video games. I had never seen so many video games in my life. Families had brought in lots of TV sets, game systems, and games and lined them up around the gym. We could play all we wanted, and the only rule was that you had to take turns. For the kids who didn't like video games, there were tables of board games set up in the middle of the gym. I think they're called board games because you get so bored playing them. I played just about every video game in the gym. After a few hours of staring into screens, I had a splitting headache. My hands hurt, and I thought my eyes were going to fall out of my head. It was the greatest night of my life. Boys and girls, there's another chapter, Chapter 12, Poor Miss Daisy. Monday at school, we had social studies. Miss Daisy said she was really sorry, but she didn't know anything at all about social studies and that we would have to help her. I don't even know the name of the first president of the United States, she told us. You don't? We all said. I haven't a clue. It was George Washington, we all shouted. Really? Miss Daisy said with a wink. Never heard of him. I was beginning to suspect that Miss Daisy might have been just pretending that she didn't know anything all along. One day, I caught her looking at a piece of paper, and her eyes were moving back and forth like she was watching a ping-pong game. Hey, you're reading, I said. I am not, she insisted. You know I can't read. Then how come your eyes are moving back and forth like you're watching a ping-pong game? I was just thinking about this great ping-pong game I saw once, she replied. It was great. You should have been there. Maybe she was joking, and maybe she wasn't. You can never tell with crazy Miss Daisy. If it turns out that Miss Daisy really doesn't know anything, I feel a little sorry for her. The kids in our school have read 1,000,000 pages, and she couldn't read one page. The kids in our class knew how to spell and do arithmetic and social studies. She hardly knew anything at all. Don't feel bad, Miss Daisy, I told her. We'll teach you reading, writing, and arithmetic, and we won't tell Principal Klutz how dumb you are. She gave me a big hug. It will be hard work teaching Miss Daisy everything she doesn't know. I think that by the end of the year, if the whole class works together, we just might bring her up to 2nd grade level. But it won't be easy. Boys and girls, that's the end of Miss Daisy is Crazy. Was she crazy? Was she not crazy? Was she pretending? Was she not pretending? I don't know. That's up to you to decide. I hope you enjoyed the book, Miss Daisy is Crazy.